What's going on, John Downey, front right seat, Secure International Group, the real bodyguard. That's me. All right, cool. So here's I had a couple questions from my YouTube page, right? That Calvin Mims put up. Who was your favorite person to work for in the music industry? All right, so I'm gonna say 50 Cent. Okay, I have a couple though. Okay, 50 Cent, Jim Jones, Juelz Santana, Queen Latifah, Missy Elliott, Columbus Short, Wayne, depending on the year. Yeah. So let me run it back to you. Okay. So 50 Cent. Okay. Now, what was so intriguing and so cool about him was is that one, we came to an understanding. One, I'm gonna do my job, you do your job. Okay. So you do your job, I'm gonna do my job. I don't need you to do my job for me. Okay. You don't need me to do your job for you. Okay. But we had an understanding that, hey, I'm here to do some work and I'm here to protect what you're doing. And I get it. You're a Golden Gloves champion. I get it. But at the end of the day, I'm here to do my job. Okay. So when we sat down, we talked. Me, him, Chris Lighty, 6'2", pretty shy. So when we all sat down and talked, this is what we came up with. Okay. I'm gonna do my job. You do your job. Okay. And my job is to make sure that you do your job. Okay. So, and what I mean by that is that my job is to make sure that you're able to do everything that you're wanting to do in your specific job title. Okay. So he does music. So I need him to be able to do it in a way that he's doing himself. So okay, cool. So if he's studio, cool. I let him do his thing. I make sure that the other pieces to the puzzle are in effect. Okay. So I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. I get him his breakfast in the morning. I order his breakfast, his coffee, send it to his room. Matter of fact, his room is right next door, so I open the door up and put it in there. So, but I won't tell y'all a lot about what happened with me and him, but some of the things I'll say. Okay. Now, was it a point in time where we traveled all the time? Okay, and we mainly stayed overseas. So, which I was cool with because at this particular time, my mother was my translator because my mother knew 5 different languages. So there's certain things with my bodyguard work that I had to put in place, and a translator was one of them. A translator that I could trust. And sometimes my mom would just be around and just listen. And then when the person that was translating leaves, she would translate what they were translating. So if they were with a whole bunch of people, so you understand, like, there's different shit that you got to do. Like, sometimes she wouldn't translate. Sometimes she would just stand there and listen. And then she would go back through and say, hey, this is some funny shit because this is what she's talking to the other person about, and this is what she's talking to y'all about. So we'd be like, oh yeah? Oh, okay, great. So that's how she used to get paid. Okay. Now if we needed help, yeah. So like we went to France, right? She would speak up. But France is a little bit different because they don't pay their cops very much. So I think they were making like at the time like $15,000. Like they don't make a whole bunch of money, and there's not a whole bunch of cops there. So it's pretty wide open. So, but what you have to worry about in France, in any part of Europe, is a lot of the terrorists that were intervening or coming to these specific these specific areas. So, what we would do is, I would send I would send my mom before us, and then she would pretty much like get everything to the point where we didn't have to do anything. Okay. So the only thing we should do was when we showed up was grab our keys and we go to the room. So we did the Get Rich or Die Trying in London. We did the Get Rich or Die Trying in France. We did the Get Rich or Die Trying in L.A. We did the Get Rich or Die Trying in New York City. So, and these were like movie premieres. Okay. So what we would do is, I would have to coordinate all of the people who are coming. Okay. So when you're dealing with 50 Cent, you have to know that he's a forward thinker. Okay. And he's not a sucker when it comes to understanding business. So there's a lot of things that you can't do with him that he automatically understands and recognizes it because he's a street guy. He's a real hustling street guy. Everything he talked about, he did. So, and it was just, it was just one of those types of clients that you really didn't have to do a lot with, but you had to be on point. Okay. Jim Juelz, I mean, they were a little bit more. I worked with Juelz first, so Juelz was a little bit more understanding. He'd be like, "Hey, all right, what do we got to do, Big John? What you think? All right, cool." Like if I'm listening to strategy, okay, then before we did anything, okay, before we did anything, this is the difference between my clients and your clients. Before we did anything, I care if it's your publicist, care if it's or your road manager, I don't care if it's your manager, we all gonna sit down, we all gonna fucking brainstorm this shit. Okay? So at the end of the day, okay, we would sit down and, hey, what's the best way to go about doing this? All right, cool. So I take over hey, this is where I need the routes, where we're going, what we're gonna do, where we're gonna stop, all that shit. Okay? That was my job. Okay? All right, cool. Where's your hospital? I need to know everything in this city before I get there. I need to know what it is. Okay? Depending on who I'm with, we may do blood type and all that other stuff. Okay? Just depends. But they gave me a little bit more realm to understand and deal with the security aspect of the job. Okay, I let them deal with the stage and all that other stuff and how you wanted who you wanted there and all the other extras. Okay, I dealt with if we needed a limo, I dealt with that. I dealt with the drivers. I dealt with the clearing of backstages, okay? And most of the time, depending on where we were at and what we were doing, that would be left up to venue security, okay? So it just depends on how you go about your day, the things that you're looking for. I'm not gonna put a whole bunch in here as far as like tactical wise, because I don't want to burn the next person from being able to do their job. Okay. Um, I vetted I vetted everybody. Okay. If they're new, I vet them. So, and that means that I do my own background on them from my own special source. Okay. So that's how I used to get away with a lot of shit. All right. But, all right, Jim and Juelz, yo, I never had a problem out of them at all. Like, Fifth, I never had a problem out of him. He tried me one day, you know what I mean? Him and Banks is in the elevator, right? And I'm in the, normally when I get in the elevator, I let them go in the front. I mean, in the back. I get in the front, right? So just depends on who's in the elevator, all right? So if there's nobody in the elevator, I'm always in the front by the door. So when the door opens, I'm the first one to go out. Okay. See, so there's little keys and little things that I'm gonna throw out there, like you, for these new guys that don't understand or are new in the industry. That don't, you know, why are you standing in the back of the elevator as a bodyguard? Scared? Scared of what you're doing? Oh, okay. So that's all I had to say, right? But at the end of the day, you have to. So I'll be standing in the front of the elevator. So Fifth walk up, yo, I'll fuck you up, right? Fuck who up? Who? So turned around and was like, yo, bro, I ain't here for that. But if you fuck around, put your hands on me, we're gonna have a problem. Cause I'm gonna beat the wood off you. It ain't gonna be what you think it is. I said, so you can fuck around and touch me again and watch what happens. I don't give a fuck about no money. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So if you think that you got what it take, go ahead and let this fly. So he was like, all right, cool. So he was like, big dog got some fight in him. All right, cool. Never fuck with me again after that. Okay? He never fuck with me again. He always was like, yo, big dog, we going to the gym. Let's go. You see what I'm saying? So, cool. Let's go. So we go to the gym, get on the treadmill. Yo, so that's how I got down to 515, fucking with Fifth, right? Which I appreciate him for that, okay? Until I had my stomach surgery, all right? So, but working with Fifth was probably the best thing that I could have done, because he helped me build my business to a place where I didn't really have to do anything but accept clients. Okay. At one particular time in New York City, I had 8 clients. Okay. I had 2 jewelers. I had some of the Yankees. I had Jeffrey Canada, which is Harlem Children's Zone's CEO executive. I had Jim, Juelz, Cam, Fifth, Banks, Buck, Olivia at the time. I had Missy. And I was doing Queen Latifah spot stuff. Okay. So, because her dad really liked me. I worked with him the first time, and he really liked me. He was like, "Yo, you be on point with your shit." Like, he's like, "It ain't no slick moving around you, huh?" No, sir. Because it's just how you present yourself, what you're looking for, what you do, how you do it, why you do what you do. Okay. So, I moved different. Okay. The other question was, out of the new artists, who would I work for currently that's today? Who would I want to work for today? I have a few. I would say the baby. I would say the baby, J. Cole. Well, he's not really new, but the baby, um, Migos. Well, they're not really new. Yachty, um, Lil Baby. Um, who would not want to work for? NBA YoungBoy. He got a lot of shit going on. I don't know what the fuck going on with this guy, man. But NBA YoungBoy, his problem is he just don't listen, cause he too interested in wanting to be a thug. Uh, what's this guy? What's the other guy name? The one that date Lauren London. Was it Black Youngster or something from Miami? Yeah, I wouldn't do that. They would have to come out their pocket, pay me some serious bread for that. And I'm talking about like I need like 2 grand a day. I'm not fucking with you. Y'all gonna fuck around and get me killed with the bullshit. And it's just so much that these young guys, man, nowadays, man, they so want to be gangsters and shit. Like I've seen this already. It's like I'm going through life twice. So, when I first got in the business, they was doing this shit. They was wanting to be gangster and wanting to be out there and wanting to rip and run. I did that with Juelz and Jim. All that fighting, I did all that with them. All that clubbing and shit, I did all that with them. So these guys now are getting their homeboys. Their homeboys don't know shit about doing this security shit. You paying the dude because you don't trust nobody. You paying your homeboy $200 because you don't trust him. You don't trust nobody else to be with you. But you're not getting somebody that can teach him how to be what you want him to be. And you're not understanding that sometimes how I learned was I had to be around guys that did this shit so I could put it together and find out what worked for me and what don't. You know? So you have to find out, what works for you and what doesn't. Being a gangster, if you're not a gangster, don't work for you. Okay? And this is the simple shit that I have with Jim. Don't be a gangster if you ain't a gangster. Okay? I get it, what you're trying to do. But let's go another route with that shit. Okay? But you also gotta realize is that these guys come from a different kind of background. Well, they don't have a father. They don't have some of them didn't have mothers. Some of them only had their grandmothers or their grandparents. But you gotta, there's certain things about doing this business that you gotta realize is that sometimes everyone that come with you can't go with you. So, what's more important? You getting this money, or you having to get this money so you can go to court, so you can keep doing your fucked up shit. So you got to figure out. See, your NBA YoungBoy has not figured out that, hey, I just need to be one person. I don't need to be two. I don't need to be a gangster when I'm not doing my music. I don't need to do that. I need to get this money. Okay? I need to get this money, and I need to get this money in a fashion that's gonna get me to be rich. Okay? You can't do both. So you have to figure out how bad you really want to be successful, and how bad do you really want to be right. Okay? Who was the best person? I think the question was, if I could work for somebody, who would I want to work for? I would say the baby. Because one, he's a North Carolina native. I'm from North Carolina. Um, I think that I could improve his security because the security is horrible. Horrible. The baby security is horrible. It's his homeboy though. What do you expect? You know what I'm saying? He big as fuck. All right, cool. You young. You don't know shit, and you just going based off of aggression. Can't do that. Okay. The baby security is garbage. Now, am I gonna say that his security is probably a good guy? I'm not gonna say he's not. I don't know him, and I don't, I just know by what I see. So, is he good? He young. He needs security that's gonna challenge his everyday. So most artists, right? I've been doing this shit 26 years. Okay, most artists don't like to be told what to do. Okay, they don't. Just simple. Fifth didn't mind this shit. He didn't care because his job is I'm paying you. That's your job. You do what you got to do. Cool. You do what you got to do, and I'll take care of the rest. Cool. We're good. Okay. The baby security is his homeboy. Okay. The majority of his security is his homeboy. So they're gonna allow him because, most of these guys have a tendency to want to be amongst their friends up here. Okay. They're not all on the same playing level. Because it can't be. Because he's the one making the money. Okay. So I think his brother, the baby's brother, is his road manager or his manager or something. And then he has a lady that does his management as well. But I mean, it's just a lot of them don't want to be told what to do, and that's the problem with why these guys is getting in trouble. Why these guys is don't listen. Don't. This is why you get on a mic and you talk about the LGBTQ community and you talk about gays and you talk about what they're doing in the parking lot and you just fucked your whole brand up by that one comment. That has nothing to do with rap. That has nothing to do with getting money. So, and then you let a motherfucker come in and you're not giving them, I'm your homeboy, but I don't care about what you're saying because it's all funny and laughing when you're on the bus until that shit stops. And your money's gone and you ain't making no bread and you sitting at the fucking house and the only thing you can do is go to a studio because you done fucked it up. Okay? I've been there, done that. Okay? I've been with somebody that fucks up everything. Okay? So, regardless of what I tell them. So, like, you have to realize is that, and I'm going to tell y'all when this shit, with this other person when it stopped. But, you can't be out doing dumb shit. Okay? The baby. I'm talking to you now, cuz. Okay? So, you can't be out doing dumb shit. All right? And your security stand around and let you fucking do it. Okay? No. That ain't the fucking answer. You get what I'm saying? That's not, our job is to protect your brand. Okay? That's our job. Majority of us. Okay? I would have walked over there to you and be like, yo, man, cut that shit out. Period. Cut that shit out. You're making yourself look bad. Okay? Don't do that shit. I don't give a fuck. Me personally, you fuck up my money. Okay? This is how I took it. You fuck up my money. All right? When you do dumb shit like that. So that means now I gotta go to the house and wait for you to get your shit back together again. Okay? So I better do that. I better tell you no, don't do that shit. Right? But I think the baby has a long way to go in what he's doing as far as musically, and the people that are around him, he has to change that up. And what I mean by that is that you need security around you that's going to tell you, nah, buddy, let's go, man. We out. Let's go. Hey, stop that shit. Yo, let that shit ride, dog. That's how you need your security. But you trying to be the boss, all right? You trying to be the boss, but you don't want to listen to nobody. I get it. That's why you sitting at the house, chilling, right? Bring me down there. I'll straighten your guy out. Okay? I'll straighten you out. I'll straighten dude out. I'll get him to the point where he's like, God damn, this shit easy now. When you do it the right way. Right. So think about it. In the business, I go by Big John. So you ain't never heard motherfuckers knocking me out. You ain't never heard none of my clients getting shot up. You ain't never heard we get motherfuckers fucking with us. Never. Ever. Not doing that. Okay? We got in trouble a few times, but you ain't never heard that from me. So I would say this to the baby, okay? You need to revamp your team. You need to get you some security that is security, not your homeboy, okay? Because you're going to need them. You definitely going to need them. But you have to move different. Stop moving like you still in the streets. See, it's a difference. When you can't move like you in the streets and then go do music. Shit don't work. It only goes so long. Okay? Till motherfucking street niggas figure it out. That this is what I'm doing. Okay? And they figured you out. They figured you out a long time ago. It just was a pandemic. They wasn't really fucking with you. But you let all these niggas out here that's robbing, stealing, killing, you let them sit home and think about new ways to do shit to people. Okay? So now what you have to do is you have to go back through and you have to reconstruct and figure out who you want to be and how you want to move and the ways that you want to move, because the way that you're moving, they've already figured that out because they have time to sit down and think about what the fuck you doing. Okay? So now you have to revamp everything that you're doing. You have to move differently. You have to move at different times of the day. You have to move. That's the way you got to move. So, and I'm not telling you everything, okay? But I'll come down there and revamp your whole security. I don't even want to be a part of your team. I just want you to move better, okay? So, and that all it takes is 2 weeks for me. Let me see you move, how you move, and when you move. And I just change up, okay? But outside of that, I mean, that would be the only thing, like, you know, that I could sit there and say that, hey, you know, I've done a lot in my career where I work with a lot of people that really had bread, okay? You know, I did some shit that, you know, most people wouldn't do. But there's ways that you have to develop you know, and to be successful in your and be productive in your own shit. So a lot of things that I did were because that's what made me feel alive, you know. Still does. So, but it's a lot of ways that, you know, you have to think And there's a lot of things that you have to do that you have to understand. Um, the way that you move means a lot. Okay. Security should not be done with one person. Security should you should always have two people. Um, should always have one with a gun, one without a gun. You know. So it just depends on how you move. Most of the time, coming up in this business, I worked a lot of times by myself, and a lot of times I work without a weapon because it's kind of hard for me to be in a fucked up spot and I'm carrying a weapon and I get shot with my own shit because of the multiple people that I always come in contact with. Okay, so it just depends on how you do shit, and how you move and what's important to you. Okay, but those were the people that were like really, and I'm gonna tell you the truth now. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Queen Latifah was very instrumental with my shit because I love Queen Latifah because Queen Latifah would say, "Hey, Big John, is it okay if I do this?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, we can do that. Come on." Like, "Hey, Big John, like, hey, can we do this?" So when I was out with her and her dad be like, "Hey, I'm stepping away. I'm going to do this at the crib. He's gonna be with you, blah blah blah." All right, cool. Hey, John, I want to go to get something to eat. All right, let's go. Like that's how she worked. Okay, because she wanted to make sure that, hey, I'm not doing anything that I should not be doing. Right. Okay. And I always express to my clients like, hey, be seen, be out, but be cordial to people because at the end of the day, right? Sign them autographs, take pictures with people, walk the streets, because once you lose that interaction with the community, okay, and you become a profile that's to the stars, you can't you no longer have a life. Okay, so Queen Latifah would be like, hey, I go out every day. I always try to interact with people and you know how they doing and hey, what's going on? Like, cool, because that's the way that I presented it to her. You know, if you always want to be relative, if you always want to be relative, you have to be, you have to interact with people. You have to. There's no way that you can just be quiet and not say nothing. Okay, so these are things that you have to work on and build, and these are things that you have to understand that, hey, what's my personality? Who am I? What do I do? What's the best way for me to move around and do this? So it's a lot of things that I did that most people wouldn't do. They'd be like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. But there's a lot of things that I did that got me to the position that I was in, to where in New York City, if you had a client, probably I had them. That's why. Because everybody that came through there, I had. If Wayne and them came through there when they wasn't even doing, I wasn't even with them. If Wayne, Baby, Cash Money came through there, they would call me. If Columbus Short came through there, he would call me. If Denzel came through there, he would call me. See what I'm saying? Like, it depends on who you are and what you're trying to do. Okay, so really, was I really doing things that I had to do? No, but I wanted to make sure everybody around me was doing everything that they had to. Okay, because that's the way we were getting money. Okay, but if you came to New York City, you had to come through me. It wasn't. It wasn't even for 15 years. You had to come through me. See, I remember when Cardi B used to be stripping in the strip club. I used to be in the strip club. I used to be in the strip club working while she was on stage. You feel what I'm saying? I remember that. I remember Cardi B was coming to the strip club. Sue's Rendezvous, Mount Vernon. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember when what's old girl used to date Kanye. I remember when she was coming to the strip club. Not Kim, but the other girl. I remember when she was coming to the strip club. She used to work there, right? So yeah, see, there's a lot of things that I know about people that they don't want me to. They don't want me to do, and I've been quiet. I've been trying to be cool about this shit. Okay, but there's things that I know about people in this industry that people be like, damn, dog. See, I remember when Nicki Minaj was with Wayne and sitting in the back, all skinny and shit, and I remember that. I do. So, but that's for another story. Okay. Like, share, comment. All right. And on my YouTube, front right seat. My Instagram is Secure International Group. Okay. The Real Bodyguard. So if you have any questions, post them below. Okay. And I'll answer your questions. All right. This one, the next video, okay, is going to be strictly about Wayne. Okay. The next video is going to be strictly about Wayne. All right. So post some videos. Yes, I'm the guy in the Amelie video. Yes, I am. Okay. So let's go.